everybody. My name is Travis Brandner, and I am here at the studio with Mr. Mitch of Mockery.
Hello.
You want to say what's up to everybody on the internet who doesn't know who you are?
Hello, internet people. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me, Travis.
Mitch, how was 2019 for your group Mockery?
It was good. We played a decent amount of shows. I think we probably played like 20 shows or something. We didn't really release any music in between that time because we were working on an album that will now be out this year. So it was kind of just, keeping our heads down, doing a lot of recording and writing. And now that's kind of coming to an end here soon. So I'm really excited for 2020 now to have all of that material to share with some friends and family and people who come to our shows.
Do you have any special strategy or like attack plan for 2020, like some special thing you're trying to accomplish for the year?
Just get the album out. That's it. That's the only thing I really have been wanting to do now for like a year and a half. So I'm really excited for that to finally be unveiled. And that's kind of like the big, I think, focal point. We also want to do some touring, some light touring. I guess I'll add that as well. We do want to do some like regional shows, going down to Louisville. We played a show in 1910 last year. That was really cool. So just, I guess, more shows in different cities as well.
What is the force that makes you want to create albums and be a musician and play and tour?
I don't know where that force comes from or why it exists, but it's definitely a part of me, and I can't really deny it. Sometimes I've tried to and been like, man, this is a lot of time that I'm spending. But then, I just like, I'm weird. Like, I don't know. I really like the music that I make, and I feel like I do have a voice in the scene here. And I feel very appreciated by my peers when I am making music. So it kind of keeps me going, and it just kind of keeps me going on a track of always wanting to like write the next song and challenge myself,
It seems as if the more I do this and talk to everybody, it's just being a musician or being a creative person is a lifestyle. And whether it's doing stuff like this or making the album in your room, it's just a lifestyle that you feel the need you have to do.
Pretty much, yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's definitely the case. It's not for any sort of monetary gain. It is totally just 100% motivated by wanting to put something out there in the world that has not existed prior. Essentially, it's just, it's something new that has never taken form before, and that's kind of the rush in it for me. It's just to know that, this is something new that no one else could have done but me, and that I think is really edifying.
How important is social media, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Bandcamp to your band, and how important is that to music in general these days, would you say?
I think it's really important. I think you need to be mindful of what you're posting. I'm definitely guilty of oversharing and posting a little bit too much of my process. I think it's good to be observant of the negative space in social media and kind of also not you don't constantly need to be on people's feeds. I think that can be a little overbearing sometimes, but it's good to post, I would say, probably 3 times a week. I don't know, something like that maybe. Especially if you're in a band and you have a show coming up or a record coming up soon. I think that's helpful, for me at least. Definitely getting people's eyeballs and keep them alert and aware of when we're playing.
You are a Cincinnati artist and musician. Will you please tell me what are your favorite parts about the Cincinnati music scene as it is right now?
It's just so supportive. There are so many incredible bands out there watching other incredible bands. Like last night I was at Northside Tavern, and it was just it was a cesspool of talent. I was literally watching one of my favorite songwriters, Brianna Kelly, record this incredible local band called Flocks. And she was just behind, in front of the stage with the camera. I saw my buddy Phil there. He's in a really good band called Blossom Hall. And I just think that the whole scene really supports itself. It's kind of cyclical in nature, how we play shows, and then go to shows that our friends play. And I really enjoy that. It's almost like a pattern. And I'm really appreciative of all of the local bands out there who come to our shows, because we definitely come to yours. And that's kind of, I think the cool part is like I at least really try to get out and see a good amount of local music when I can. And it's good to know that other people are doing the same thing.
We do have a really great scene here, and just to be honest with you and the people listening, that's why I'm doing these interviews, because I feel like everybody in this little group that we have should all be talking to each other on camera, and we should try to document that as much as possible. That's
for sure. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
why we're here. Thank you for talking to me, by the way.
Absolutely.
Will you take a minute to shout out who is your list of favorite Cincinnati bands right now?
Sure. So this is kind of, I'm going to go pretty far back. Starting out as a musician in Cincinnati, there was basically like two bands I was really honed in on. My brother-in-law's band, the Never Setting Suns, and then Pomegranates, who are just now coming back. And they kind of like set me on the path that I'm at now to write music. And now I think, that was like 10 years ago. Now I've been really into groups like Soften. I think they're doing incredible work. Their EP they released last year was really, really good. Kind of dreamy, shoegaze music. Rocked hard, but also just like emotionally devastating lyrics that just make your soul, you just feel it inside of you in a very deep, deep way. Some of the other bands that I enjoy, I know I talked about Phlox earlier. They're cool. Kurt from Carriers, he makes really, really interesting singer-songwriter music. Almost reminiscent of like the War on Drugs. They're one of my favorite national groups, and I think Carriers is kind of a cool, subversion of that maybe. Other bands, I'm just like kind of drawing a blank right now because it's kind of hard to just like think about all of them off the top of my head. Season Sleep is great. David Lawrence, he's a homie, and I really enjoy the music he writes, especially with his other post-rock group, Day Chaser. They are dope. They are very cool. Mar is awesome. I've really enjoyed their shows. Think of who else? That's kind of
It's a really hard question. I ask it in every interview, and I feel like every time I do it, everybody just, like, you can see them looking off into their brain, and it's just the list of all of their friends. It's a hard question.
There are just so many incredible groups out there, and Somar is another one of them. And I really do just like to see as many shows as possible, and it's good to get out there and be blown away by some groups. Elsa Kennedy is another one that I'm very fond of as well. She's an incredible singer-songwriter.
Will you take a second to promote your upcoming shows and your next projects, please?
Yeah, for sure. So we have a show at Northside Tavern on February 7th with Carriers and a touring guy by the name of Neil McCallum. So that's going to be at Northside Tavern on the February 7th. And then moving beyond that, we're kind of doing, we're not really doing all that much in February. March 12th, we have a show at Northside Tavern again. But I really want to promote our record release show, which now is, it's less than 4 months away, which still seems pretty far, but it's an important show for us. We're going to be releasing our second album and playing it in full that night at Motor. So that's May 24th. We're still figuring out the supporting bands, but I think it's going to be a really solid lineup right now. I'm just really looking forward to that show. And the album as well. It's going to be 12 songs. I think they are the best songs that I've written thus far in my musical career. So, I'm pretty stoked for that one.
Mitch, thank you for talking to me. Everybody, please find Mitch and Mockery on social media and where all music is found on the internet. Thank you for talking to me, sir. And
thanks,
see
Travis.
everybody later.
Bye-bye.